delivery, when we found out that our elders and the sick couldn't get to the water stations to get the water, we established water stations because our friends and colleagues were educating us on the fact that the purchase of bottled water was feeding the monster that was killing us. So we established the water stations as a place to go get water so that they were not buying into the commodification of water. But then what we recognize is not everybody in this city, as large as it is, had transportation to get to the location to get the water. So we still had another crisis. So then we created what's known as the water drops, where we go drop water at different locations all over the city to those that can't get there. And what we found from canvassing just, to tell you the God's honest truth, all we did was go make 5,000 ticket cards and say, here's a number, now tell us what's going on with you in the water. Because we didn't know. We didn't know. And so that's why we've had to spend, or at least our little organization has, we've had to spend the last year at the knees of Mother Kramer, Mother Taylor, Miss Lila, the other people that have been doing the water work to upgrade our knowledge. We did policy work. Deborah Taylor and I worked for the greatest council person in the city of Detroit. So we knew about how to make a policy, but we didn't understand the personal impact of not having water. We had done canvassing for politics, to get political people elected, to get policies educated in the community.
As individuals.
Well, yeah, as individuals. But we had never used our canvassing for something like this. We flipped our whole script. Within 1 week, we got called to a meeting here in Detroit with our elders. We didn't even know what we were going for. They were just like, Mother Taylor called and said, be here at this time, don't be late. It's like, okay. I told Deborah, we got to go to this meeting. We get to the meeting, everybody left with an assignment. Well, part of our assignment was, okay, y'all canvassing. Well, tell the people about the water while y'all doing that little canvassing over there, which is what Mother Kramer said. While y'all doing that little canvassing, tell them that the water's being shut off. We took our whole project of educating young people on canvassing, and all of those young people became the water delivery, the canvassers, the phone bankers, because that was the only resource we had. This past year, we've taken 4 months out of the year to solicit grant dollars and private donations to fund our young people to do this work. Youth want to do it, but they can't afford to give their time to it when they need shoes. When some of our young people you saw yesterday are helping pay light bills and water bills at their families' homes to keep them in their home. So I agree wholeheartedly with you. You've touched my heart, because canvassing is where my heart is. I think that the message that we're all trying to create here is that canvassing is a method, but we know that it is not the solution to it. But at the same time, I agree that if we can establish some common questions that we're asking, what happened? Why is your water off? Is it medical? Is it because you're low income? And here in the state of Michigan, the governor has cut cash assistance. Those are things that, as we know it, we can help people like mothers organize around. If they are a mother with children at a certain age and they're in threat of losing cash assistance, then we already can predetermine that they're probably going to live without water because of that condition. So they can be organized within a hub themselves to help other mothers as they're going into some kind of welfare system, that this is a probable threat to you. No, go ahead. We're learning here.
One of the reasons that I said what I said was not to denounce anything you said. It was to think in larger terms, international terms. Because yes, in Detroit, the issue is water. But in Massachusetts, our issues are different. They're not shutting water off like they are here. Our bigger issues are around them taking people's children for lack of proper, not just water, but utilities being shut off, because we done went past the point of memorandum when the only thing that's stopping them from keeping their kids is the fact that they couldn't pay an electric bill or a light bill. But then they create a job for someone else by giving them our kids when they just could have paid our bill. And then in other countries,
it's just a different commodity, but same strategy.
Housing. The point I'm trying to raise is that while you're doing what you say, the canvassing, it shouldn't be set like a script in your head. You need to knock on the door and ask the person, what do you need?
Oh, I agree. I
know,
agree.
what
I don't
do
think
you
we said
need?
anything different.
But it's just a point of clarification because I've been in a lot of meetings over the years, and I'm a writer by heart. People will get isolated and separate when things are closed circuit. If they don't feel that what they're fighting for is there, and what I'm trying to push at is that when you're canvassing, keep an open mind. I'm not saying that you shouldn't push what you're working on. And even when you're in meetings talking about canvassing, it should be an open aspect so that no one feels left out. If how you're using to describe your message is not their message. Because I believe at the source that the whole purpose of this meeting is unity.
From a meeting about water, because when it first started, it was only water. And what we know in Detroit is that water and housing go together. And so I think the shift that you're asking for has already started. And I think this weekend is actually a model of where we're going. Because there's also discussion around, even though it hasn't been a high point, I think on several meetings we've mentioned that we must connect with other groups around the common threats, like Black Lives Matter, with what's happening with police brutality, like what's happening in education. Because all of those pieces are tools of what's pushing people out of their communities. Yes, sir.